Okay, you want to start it up, Kent?
Yep. Is Sherry joining us? Is she?
She's here. Hold on 1 second. We're almost there.
Okay.
All right. You are live and ready to go.
Okay. I will call the meeting to order. And the first thing we'll do is have pledge allegiance to the flag. So I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Attendance. I think we'll have attendance based on who's at the Zoom. Brian, you want to make a motion to approve the minutes of December 10th and January 7th?
Yeah, I make a motion that we approve the minutes of the regular December 10th meeting and the January 7th special budget meeting.
And I'll second that, so it'll pass. Public participation. Has anybody got anything they want to add?
We have 8 attendees at this point. Nobody's raised their hand, but they can use the raise hand feature in the Zoom application or by using *9 on their telephone. We do have one individual. I'm going to unmute them and allow them to talk. They can please state their name and address for the record.
Oh yeah, can you hear me?
You're all set?
Hi, Kevin Ziegler, 105 Cedarwood Lane, Newington, Connecticut.
Hi, Kevin.
Hi, I'd just like to go on the record and say that I had a conversation with Commissioner Stoddard a couple of weeks ago after having approval from the chief a few weeks before that. Then I understand that there's a lot of things going on with the fire department, and I discussed them with Commissioner Stoddard, and I believe there's a lot of forward progress being made. However, I believe, and my opinion is that the board is appointed a new chief, and now we're appointing a new deputy, and that we can be, we're spending money as a town to have a testing process. We should reappoint all the officers from the top down. We have a new chief. We should go through and have every officer reapply and retest everybody. When I was a commissioner and with Commissioner Callahan, there was term limits. It was supposed to be 5 years, and we've had people in office. We've had new people come in, but we're spending the money to have a testing process. We should really do a reappointment from Car One. Obviously is new, but right down the line, and other departments do it. It's not a bad idea. Sometimes you get some new blood to come in and some new fresh ideas, and it's not a bad thing. I believe that other departments are rotating their chiefs around. It gives chance for opportunity for grow, for people to move up the ranks. And we had some good conversation on it, and I just wanted to make it a public thing and on what I believe. And I look forward to the board continuing to make Newington Fire Department a better place to be.
Oh, thank you for your comments, Kevin. I understand what you said, and we did discuss it. We are improving the process for appointing officers, and we are doing a testing process, and we've done that for the last deputy and the current chief, and we're doing it for the next deputy. And we're going to go through the regular officer appointments for July, so that we're doing all but a few, and I know you'd like us to do them all, but right now I think that's where we stand. What do you think, Brian?
Well, just to comment on a couple of your questions, Kevin. Chief Traumer was appointed for a 5-year term, just so that you know that. And we have specific written guidelines for his appointment. for when his reviews are. And I'd be happy to get you that guideline to show it to you. And for the chief's appointment, yes, we went out to an outside firm testing. And for the deputy chief's testing, we are using the Connecticut Fire Academy, and we're also going to be using the Connecticut Fire Academy for the hopefully for the testing for the officers in July. This board is very transparent, and we want to keep everything above board. That's how we work, and it seems to be working out very well. And we have nothing to hide. So that's why we've gone to this process. And like you said, it does make certain people shine, and you know, we get the best product out of it. And that's what we want, the best for our department.
I agree. Do you have anything else, Kevin?
No, you know, I just, you know, like I said, it's not any personal thing against anybody personally. But, you know, like I said, I agree with you guys. I think that things have been transparent. But you know, like I said, you know, you're going to the outside agency. What's, you know, if that's how the board feels like that it should be, then it should be. Like I said, I just have my opinions, and it's not against anybody personally. Is that if you're going to go through the process and you replaced a chief, now you're replacing a deputy. Now you have, if somebody resigns in the next 6 months to a year, now you're going to repeat the whole process. So, you know, I was just looking at it all the way around, and it was, like I said, I take for everything you guys said, and I appreciate that.
Okay, thank you.
Just quick before you finish up, Kevin, there's nothing saying that the commission can't keep that list in for a year or two active. So that's up to the commission. We have not decided that yet, but we can keep that list for the deputy chiefs active for a certain length of time. And I would hope we would do that after this testing process.
That makes sense.
Okay. Moving right along.
We still have another individual in just a moment.
Okay.
They indicate there as Montano. Just a moment, and I will unmute them. Okay. You should be active now.
Is that John?
I'm here.
No, yeah.
All right, John.
All right, I just got on. Sorry, I'm late. I just had one question. I know I was on a committee at one time when we made the rules on to become a deputy chief. And if I'm wrong, Kent, you can let me know, but you had to have been a captain or a first lieutenant for 2 years. Now I see you're allowing a lieutenant, a straight lieutenant with 5 years to be eligible. If you're a lieutenant for 5 years, you've at least gone through the officer process at least once, maybe twice. And if they weren't good enough to move up to first lieutenant or captain, you're going to jump over a first lieutenant and captain and make them a deputy chief?
In answer to that, we looked at the pool that we would have of qualified candidates from our old setup that we had, and decided as a commission to change that and to open it up so that we could get more candidates. Now, is anybody going to jump anybody? I don't know. That's something we'll have to look at when we get there. But we're looking to open the process up so that we've, you know, and this kind of goes along with the last question that Kevin had. We're letting more people be involved and be in the process. And when we get to the point that, you know, we would have a lieutenant or a second lieutenant, as they get called, jump over somebody, then they have to do awfully well on the process to be able to do that. So I understand your concern, but we are just trying to open it up to more people and have more people involved. What's
All
your
right, but
thoughts,
again-
Brian?
I can tell you honestly, Johnny, that I was a big proponent of opening it up to more people. Like past Commissioner Ziegler stated, you know, people get into positions in this department because it's such a great department and they can be there for a while. So by saying someone stuck as a second lieutenant, why would we take him as a deputy since they're only second lieutenants? Well, there's some second lieutenants that have been in their position for quite a while because there's not a lot of movement, and we're trying to get movement. We're trying to get more guys involved. And to tell you the truth, when we open this up, Johnny, the process has closed and there's still only 5 eligible candidates to take the test.
Well, can I talk?
So-
Is it time for me to talk?
Yeah.
Go
You
ahead.
say there's only 5 eligible. I disagree to that. I would think there'd be a lot more than 5. But again, if
Johnny,
they've gone-
only
No.
5 members put in for the
right,
position.
only 5 members put in for it. That doesn't mean there's 5 members that could apply. I'm
Right.
still saying if they were good enough to be a deputy chief, a captain or first lieutenant, they would have moved up within their company. But because when you go to the outside agency, like the chief, you're going, the highest score gets the job. And you can get someone that can test well, interview well, but because the first lieutenant is the ranks between his peers also judge, he may not move up in the company, but he can test and score well. So I can see it happening if you get someone that tests and interview well. And I just don't think it's fair to the captains and the first lieutenants present.
Okay, we value your opinion, John, but the chief didn't become the chief because he was just the best scorer. He became the chief because he did very well on all aspects of the process.
Right, and you can get a first lieutenant that can do the same thing. But anyways, on the next note, I'd like to congratulate the Chief Chalmer for his step up in position. And I wish Brian Gallagher well in his recovery.
Yes, I'm sure we all do. Thank you.
Thank you, John. I appreciate it.
Any other public participation, James?
We do have one more individual. Just a moment. And that's indicated as Chris Lubis.
Good evening. My name is Lucas, 442 Willard Avenue, apartment A1, Newington, Connecticut. And I too understand what Mr. Montano has an issue with, but the qualifications are out there. And while I was a lieutenant for 6 years, I did get voted out by the company, but it doesn't mean it should exclude you from running for another office.
No, that's true.
I mean, I know in the career ranks, talking with my peers at the fire academy, there's been numerous lieutenants that have made the jump to battalion chief or an assistant chief in their own department. So I appreciate the commission opening up to other than just captains. Because, as it was stated by, Mr. Ziegler, they were almost like a Supreme Court justice where you were appointed or you earned the title of chief and it had no term limit. So for me, this may be my one and only opportunity. And just because I didn't become first lieutenant or become captain at my respective company shouldn't exclude someone from having that opportunity. So I'm appreciative that the commission allowed it to be opened up. And again, if you're willing to go forward and take the steps to become certified fire officer, that should give you the leg up too. There's some members that probably could meet the other requirements, but didn't get certified to fire officer 1. So that's I sat here, wasn't sure if I was going to say anything, but we have certifications and we have these credentials for a reason beyond whether you're a good guy at your company or the chiefs like you or the commission likes you. It's about experience, and you're willing to continue to gather knowledge throughout your entire firefighting career.
Good points, Chris. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we do have one more, and actually it is on the panelist side. It is Councilman Minor.
Hi, Chris.
Hi, how are you, Kent?
Good.
Just a couple quick points or questions, rather.
Sure.
Is there a set written policy that is governed by either charter or bylaws that indicate the step progression all the way up, or is it a subjective choice of the commission as the chiefs weigh in on the local or the lower levels for company? How's it set up?
Okay, we have a set of rules and regs, which are written and signed off on by the commission. Those do have a set program for the company officers or the line officers. We chose to adjust that for the deputy chief position.
Okay. So you adapted the company level up to the level of deputy chief because there was nothing definitive in terms of the process or qualifications needed. Am I understanding that right?
The current commission has always made the qualifications required for a position.
Okay. All right. So that's subjective to each individual commission as the years progress, correct?
Yes. And that's really by charter that says the commission has total authority as far as hiring and firing, but so that it is a little bit subjective, but that's based on what the commission is.
Okay. Yeah, that's the part I wanted to clarify, is that it is subjective based on the commissions as they progress through time. Okay.
Yeah.
That's it. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's all of our public comments at this time.
Thank you, James. We'll move on to communications. For communications, we had the chief's report and the fire marshal's report. We did have one promotion to the public safety and in the personnel department under Chief Stegmeyer. And then we did have a memo outlining the chief's roles and responsibilities. And I understand that may change again once we get a new deputy in place. Do you have any others, Brian?
No, just chief's activities for December. Did you get
Yep.
that one?
Yeah, monthly reports, chief's
Yep.
monthly report and the fire
Yep.
marshal's monthly report.
Yep, and the only one that was for Kurt Roseman for the
Right. So I'll make a
personnel.
motion, we approve those.
I second it.
That means it passes because there's only the two of us tonight.
Yep.
Moving right along to ledger status. Did you have a chance to look that over, Brian?
I did. I looked it over. I looked it over this afternoon and it looks pretty good. We're just about where we're supposed to be.
I would agree with that, so that passes also. Old business, Chief's cars. You want to talk about that, Brian?
Yes, as we know, Chief Stegmeyer got his car. He is very happy with it. And Chief LaPierre's car, I believe he should be getting that within the next week. And I do know that they got some new cruisers, so hopefully the other two deputies will be getting their cars very soon after they get some new police cars on the road and they get things switched around, and hopefully a couple more will free up.
Okay, so we're moving right along with the Chief's
We are
cars.
moving right along with it, and I can tell you that Chief Stegmeyer is very happy, and I'm very happy to see them going to calls in a town car for their own protection and also for their family needs. Just for that sake, I think it's working out very well.
I'd agree. Chief's evaluations. We haven't really started that yet, and that's mainly because of COVID-19. We're a little bit behind in doing our evaluations. We need to get that together and plan to do that in the near future.
I agree.
Staff officers evaluations, that'll go right along with the chief's evaluations.
Yep.
Truck 2, did you have something on that, Brian?
I do. I would like to make a motion for truck 2 that the town of Newington join a consortium. The consortium's name is HGAC. It's a consortium out of Texas that has pre-bid pricing for vehicles. In the very near future, we are going to be looking for a ladder truck. And just so that we're on the ball and it's there when we need it, I would like to make a motion that the town join this consortium. It's called HGAC.
I'll second that motion. So that motion will pass.
Yep.
And this is so that it kind of changes the way we do things a little bit. They have a standing bid vehicle that we can purchase.
Correct.
Okay. Deputy Chief Testing. You want to review that, Brian?
Sure. We touched on it a little bit during public participation, but like it was said, we did open it up this year to this round to lieutenants. We had 6 applicants apply for it. 5 had the qualifications to take the test. The test is going to be given by the Connecticut Fire Academy. They gave all of the test applicants the proper reading materials to study, and the test is going to take place on February 6th. And soon after that, there will be an oral board. And then after that, a chief and commissioners panel where we'll sit down with the applicant and discuss the job with them. And then just shortly thereafter, we'll be making an appointment.
You did say February 6th, right?
February 6th, Saturday is the written test. Yes.
Great. Okay, moving right along to new business. Personnel functions. Okay, the Board of Fire Commissioners have discussed this, and really the personnel functions for the town, like, absentee, people being sick, all of the personnel functions in the past were handled for the fire marshal's office and the town managers and the full-time employee, our union employee, by the town manager. So that I'm proposing that we have a motion to, wait a minute, I'll read it. There it is. The Newington Fire Department Board of Fire Commissioners delegates the normal personnel functions for the full-time employees, currently our fire department secretary, and the fire marshal and his staff to the town manager. The commission will be the final board of appeals for personnel matters, and the board will work closely with the town manager on new hiring and termination. So I'll make that a motion, Brian.
And I second it.
So we're both in favor, so that motion passes. And does anybody else have any other new business? Hearing none, I think we'll move on to public participation for the second time. Nobody raising their hand, James?
Montano did.
He did.
Okay.
He's unmuted at this point.
Go ahead, John.
I'm here. Well, I totally spaced, but because you brought up the new chief's cars, it was always my understanding in the past that the deputies got a gas allowance and another stipend for their vehicle maintenance because they did use their own vehicle. Now with these driving new town vehicles, is that part of the stipend going to be removed from their pay?
Yes. Anything to do with their own personal cars will be taken out, their gas, and if there's any stipend for they're using their own car, yes.
And is there a price that it costs the fire department to have these town cars out of the fire department budget?
No.
Oh, that's good.
Johnny, I can tell you that for the 4 deputies, it was $1,200 per year per deputy for their car. And so that will be a $4,800 savings in the budget come, very shortly. It was in this year's budget, but for next year, that will not be in the budget for next year because they will hopefully by July all have cars.
I would say it's not a savings, but at least hopefully that money can get towards, other fire department items or even the awards night, since we haven't had that this year.
Right, correct.
And then lastly, just Happy New Year to all. Hopefully
Happy
this
New
year's
Year
a
to
lot
you,
better.
John.
Thanks, John.
All right, we have Mr. Ziegler again. Just a moment.
Okay.
You should be active now, Mr. Ziegler.
Hi, yeah, so my only question is, I just was wondering, what is this apparatus place out of Texas that we're joining? And does that mean that we're locked into a certain price? I mean, can you elaborate on how it operates? And do we still have the selection to go out to bid and pick the apparatus or the dealer that we want?
Okay, so Kevin, this consortium, and anybody can go online and take a look at it, and I can give you the name again. It's called HGAC, and you can get anything as a municipality, from toilet paper to hand sanitizers to bulldozers to fire trucks to helicopters to 747s. And what this is this consortium goes out to these companies and does a pre-bid. So Pierce is already part of this consortium. So they have already pre-bid fire trucks for us.
So
we
is
can.
is it still the ability to custom build the truck that you want, though?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. All right, I agree with that.
So what this does is it takes the process out of waiting up to a month, advertising for the bid, waiting for the bids to come in, opening the bids, reviewing the bids, and then awarding the bids. So this kind of takes that whole process and just puts it into one place in this consortium. And it does not cost the town anything to belong to it. So it really is a win-win situation for the town.
Okay, I mean, my concern was that we would get stuck getting a lower brand or an apparatus by another company that we don't like or that we don't use normally. I think that we've always had a good piece by Pierce. They've always done right by us, and hopefully we can get another Pierce.
And they have 14 vehicles, I believe, on there already bidded by Pierce.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
We have one person on the panelist side, Councilor Minor.
Thanks, James. Just a quick clarification. One thing with the consortium that is a benefit is how broadly it's used. West Hartford purchasing theirs, Waterbury purchasing theirs. It's a process that's been accepted nationwide, and it's just another benefit that we get as a municipality to be able to participate in it. and you're only paying for the fee for the actual transaction. There's no cost to be a member of the, just wanted to point that out.
Very good, Chris. That's a good point.
No other public comments with hands raised at this time, Mr. Chairman.
Brian, do you have commissioner's comments?
I would
Commissioners'
just like to
remarks?
say happy New Year to everybody. I would like to comment about our new chief. I believe our communications are second to none since he's taken over. There's not a day that goes by where I don't get a communication from him about this department. I think we're leading in the right direction with Chief Traumer at the helm. And I'm very happy for the decision that I made.
Is that all, Bri?
That's it.
Okay, I would like to say, I hope we're all praying for Commissioner Gallagher. He's going through a tough time, and he needs our prayers and needs all the help he can get. I want to wish everybody a happy new year, and I hope 2021 is a lot better than 2020. And I think we're going in the right direction by the steps we're taking in this process tonight to join the consortium and work towards getting that new truck too. If anybody has anything else, please raise your hand, but otherwise I think we're done. So
Get
I'm
better,
going,
Bri. We miss you.
yeah, I'm going to call for adjournment
I second
at
it. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
8:01.
everyone. Good night.
Good night.
Thanks, James.
Yes, thank you, James.
My pleasure.